Hello and welcome back, not just to a new video, but to a new car as well. Yes, that's right, my trusty BMW E46 has now sold, but unfortunately it's more than just gone. It's gone to the scrapyard in the sky. And that's because the Romanians who bought it off me failed to insure it or drive it with a license. I know this because I had the letters from the Manchester Metropolitan Police. That unfortunately means that the car was seized and impounded and later crushed. Scheiße. The BM has gone, but what is in its place and what will be coming to Festival of the Unexceptional 2023? Well, would you look at this? The shorts are back, and well, to compensate for that, I bought myself the best looking mainstream car of the late 1990s, period. It is, of course, a Fiat Brava, and well, as a purchase, I'm genuinely very pleased with this one. And in terms of looks, nothing comes close to this.
We are walking like in a Dolce Vita. This time we got it right. We're living like in a Dolce Vita. Gonna dream tonight.
So let's start off with some statistics on the Brava. It is 100% sexy as fuck, and it was Car of the Year 1996, along with its sister, the Bravo, which was of course the two-door version of what we're in now. The Bravo was more set up for performance, and the Brava, which we're in here, it was more set up for not necessarily comfort, but more sort of family life, taking the kids to school, things like that. But the great thing was that you could have that with style. You could have substance and you could have style. Another thing to note about the Brava is that in the then little known TV show Top Gear, when it was sort of a fuddy-duddy magazine format sort of show, one of the many presenters on there described this car as being, well, pretty much the result of what happens when a manufacturer actually tries. And that was a presenter called Jeremy Clarkson, and well, I don't know what he's up to these days, to be fair. Now let me tell you viewers, I have been after one of these for years, and I bought it for myself purely, not to make money on, but as a sort of nostalgic present, early Christmas present for myself. With regards to the colour, I wouldn't have picked it myself. And as I drove past some youths the other day, they said, oh, that car's gay. The colour, this sort of pastel green colour, is a product of its time, really. It was kind of common on a lot of cars at the time, especially Fiat as well. And now starting off at the front, it's got the same face as its sister, the Bravo. And although it's still very smooth, still very rounded, still very curvy, this is the most chiselled part of the car. As you move further back, it gets even more smooth and even more spaceshipy. But as you can see, it kind of bottlenecks at the front, doesn't it, this car? But it's beautiful, beautiful design nonetheless. Beautiful Italian design. There's a lot of barely 2-year-old cars that are in much worse condition than this. And considering this has had so many owners, it's a miracle really that it's been this well kept. And it's so strange with this car that it's had so many owners, but then you look at the MOT advisories and someone's put on the MOT advisory, replace the wipers, and they just haven't. So it's like they've looked after it, but then they haven't looked after it, if you understand what I mean. Aftermarket alloy wheels, they are of course an acquired taste. I've been informed though that with these alloy wheels on, when someone saw me driving this car, they said it looks really good going down the road. I think they add character at best. Look at the rear lights there. Brilliant bit of design. The whole car just looks absolutely fantastic. And the only disadvantage with this car is that when you're driving it, sometimes you think it's better being from the outside looking in rather than driving it, but still fantastic nonetheless. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head inside, and I've been smoking this car for the past 6 months, so Do ignore the mess. My car is sometimes my office. And the first thing to note is look at these seats. Not only are they in absolutely excellent condition, but the colour scheme, the pattern, it is so 90s. And another fantastic, quite upmarket feature on these seats is that you've also got lumbar support in there. Absolutely brilliant, especially with my back. Lumbar support on an old Fiat. Who'd have thought it? We've got the Fiat steering wheel at the time with these little sort of ridges going along it as well for an added bit of detail. It is particularly good for writing birthday cards or doing crosswords on. Now this is the only key that it's come with, and this would have been originally the maintenance key for the car. We should have had two blue ones, but this is the only one that we've got. 89,675 miles. This as well is exceptionally good on the fuel. Now this has been mentioned before, but it's rather Rover 75-esque, that interior light there. I'm on record as saying that the interior isn't as interesting as the exterior, but I don't think we should write it off. It's still a very good interior with a lot of little nifty design features. We've got a sort of floating effect dashboard here, our radio cassette player, all very user-friendly, easy to use. Adjustable vents here, which you can go like that with, not quite as intuitive as the ones on my Citroen Saxo, I must say. And why can't cars just be this simple anymore? Hot and cold, speed and position. That is literally all you need. This is a cool little feature as well, because if your car's got an oil leak, all you have to do is move the dial from there to there, and any sort of smell or suspicion that you might have an oil leak goes away thanks to this little dial. One of the centerpieces of this car, in my opinion, is the, quite frankly, amazing his and hers ashtray there. So ashtrays basically for the front, for the driver and the passenger in this car. You can also flip that up as well. Another lovely 90s feature that we've got on this car is the coin tray here, which I am making use of. We've got in this car a working electric tilt and slide sunroof, which in the tropical weather that we're having in Liverpool now, we're making good use of, but very, very luxurious feature. This is the SX trim. Funky seat pattern continues onto the door card. We'll head into the back. And in the back, we've just got the seats really, but not just the seats. We've also got space as well. This will all be covered in the upcoming review, but one thing that is a good feature for backseat passengers is if you're on a double date and you've got a couple in the front and a couple in the back, and you all smoke, well, you've got his and hers ashtrays in the back as well, albeit a little bit smaller. Very nice touch, clearly Italian, because they all did smoke. I don't know if they still do. You can access the boot from the key, but I prefer to do it like this just because it reminds me of times gone by. Supplied by Dixon's Motors, Perth. I'll let you into a little secret. It's never ever come from that garage, at least to my knowledge. I've bought that sticker and put it on to add a little bit of authenticity to the car, as I have with this Scrappage Scheme Survivor sticker, but that seems to have gone a little bit bad. We've even got Fiat mud flaps as well. The boot, well, it's a boot really, so that's it. So with these sills, as you can see, they have been painted all the way along. I'm going to insert a video now of what they looked like before. Another little letdown is the perishing rubber on the door handles there. That happened on all the Fiats of the time, the ones that used rubber door handles anyway. Now the bonnet catch is in a rather peculiar place in this car. Another thing that's peculiar is a screw sticking out of the clutch pedal. I mean, I think not to ask about that. The bonnet catch is not on the passenger side. It's not here. It's not there. It is in the middle here somewhere. I still haven't quite mastered it myself. Here it is. Under there, it's the Fiat 16-valve 1.2 litre engine, seen in the Al Punto. But I think we're going to end the walk-around video by just looking at the back of the car and admiring from afar. So I seen this car on Marketplace and it was a no-brainer. I messaged the guy, bought the car and went to Blackpool to go and get it. But on the train to Blackpool, I was thinking, I wonder if this car has any MOT advisories. So I log on and I go on and see that it's got quite a long MOT, which is good. But then we come to the advisories, and my beautiful, smooth, spaceship, curvy Fiat Brava that I was talking about earlier, well, it has a crusty sort of side to it as well. Central brake pipe corroded. Front brake pipe corroded. Front subframe corroded. Near side rear suspension arm corroded. Near side rear suspension component mounting prescribed area is corroded. Outer sill feels thin. Offside rear suspension arm corroded. Offside rear suspension component mounting prescribed area is corroded. Near side windscreen wiper blade defective, split on edges. Offside windscreen wiper blade defective and split. Front brake disc worn, pitted or scored. All tyres over 10 years old. So yeah, quite a lot to be thinking about there, rust wise, and yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But no matter what you think about this car, the fact of the matter is, it is incredible, really, for me anyway, that I am driving around in one of the rarest modern classics that you can buy. And it's green, which means it's in keeping with all of the other cars that I've bought myself in the past few years.
We made it down in the Dolce Vita. Wipe all your fields away.